technology didn't start modern day, it didn't start in the 1940s, it didn't start anywhere but actually past time in the era of the Greeks. So Greeks had conceived the idea of mechanical humans, some sort of robot type of thing that could maybe act just the same as a human could. They played with these sort of things in trying to determine what a human is. So with Plato's allegory of the cave, or different philosophers trying to determine what a human is, they developed the idea, what if we could create a human? Some of the examples further on that are actually conceived, not just as ideas, but something you could actually make, are this thing right here, which is basically a sort of, they're called automatons, and what they did was it would write down what you told it to write down on a piece of paper, and upon doing so, it would basically give machines an edge over humans. So now it could actually write. Our machines could actually do something that most humans could do, and it was still a machine at the point. During World War II, we all know at the beginning of World War II, the Germans had the advantage. They were sinking lots of merchant ships. They were bombarding London heavily. There was, like right here, this is the firebombing of London. There were heavy casualties towards the British. The British were losing, and they didn't know why. They couldn't crack the codes, the transmissions that Germany was sending. They couldn't see what was going on. They couldn't tell what was going on. They couldn't determine when they're going to be attacked. That was all because of this machine. This is the Enigma, which was a German code machine that the Germans used to deliver messages each and every day. So they would use that, which the ciphers on it would change every day. So the combinations for what you would write would change every day. Cryptographers at the time thought this was impossible to break. Everyone in England, everyone in the rest of the world tried to break this. No one could do it. And because of that, the German High Command, which are, some of these fellows are from the German High Command, German High Command ruled over the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, everything that the German military was, they were all commanded by the Enigma. And the German High Command had a distinct advantage with the Enigma that the British just couldn't understand what was going on. That was up until Alan Turing came into the project. So Alan Turing was a mathematician, cryptographer, you name it. This guy, he blazed through mathematics in British schools, and he was eventually chosen for the project in England to try to crack Enigma. And he developed the first computers that we know of today. He called it Christopher, and what it did was it went through all the possibilities that the Enigma could possibly do. It went through every single possibility, and at the beginning stages of the project, it couldn't do it. There were so many millions and millions of possibilities that the Enigma had that the Christopher just couldn't get through all of them. So how did he break it? Well, every morning, the Enigma would send out one same message. 6 a.m., the weather is clear. Heil Hitler. That was the message that cracked the code and won the war for England. Just one message. He ran that message through Christopher, and Christopher was able to decipher which combinations were for that day. And for the rest of the war, England knew when, how, and where Germany was going to strike, and all they had to do was play a game of statistics. They had to control which losses they would have, and Germany wouldn't tell that they had cracked Enigma. Now, Turing had built the first computer that was known to man. It could calculate things. It would act on itself. So he continued on his research. He thought, okay, what is this computer? What is this AI? He developed something called the Turing test. So the Turing test is how you can determine between computer and human in the new world. Turing thought that in the future we would have computers that could act exactly like humans. And he thought he needed to determine how you can distinguish between the two. So he built the Turing test for it. Eventually, people caught up on this idea. Sci-fi movies with the idea of a fake human appeared. And on the World's Fair, this robot came, and people were astounded that they had created a metal being that could walk, move around. They were astounded by the idea that humans weren't special creatures, that you could replicate one. As time progressed, people iterated the idea of AI and continued it with the new programs that we were adapting with computers. Here is IBM's Deep Blue. IBM thought that AI could be used for several different purposes, and for here, to try to beat the world's best chess player. And IBM developed that program, and it beat the world's chess player. beat the best chess player. A computer beat the world's best chess player. So a game that humans had developed, it beat it. Then here we have Eliza, which was the first ARPANET AI. This was one of the first initial stages of the AI that we know of today, sort of like chatbots. Eliza was a sort of therapeutic for people on the ARPANET. ARPANET was the beginning stages of internet, and people who were in the ARPANET were normally military guys, government guys, and they were suffering a lot of stress. So the U.S. government planned Eliza, who you could talk to, and she would render your speech into different sectors of conversation, and then she'd use that to try to answer back to you. Eliza was one of the first chatbots that we have, and this was in the 1970s, 60s. We came a long way with that. We decided to develop that, and we got to Siri. A lot of you have iPhones, and a lot of you can talk to Siri and say, hey, open this app. That wasn't something that we thought of in the 1920s. We didn't think we could talk to machines and they could answer back. And here we have another machine, which was another IBM program, I think, that beat humans at Jeopardy. Sure, it's a little simple. All you have to do is connect it to the internet, and it has knowledge. It has the entire database of knowledge that humans know of to its access. So, what's for the future? The thing is, we don't know. We don't know how AI could develop. We could go a multitude of different pathways. We could end up with the Terminator, where the AI has decided to rid us of the face of the earth and we no longer exist. Or we could end up being partnered with the AI. We could develop newer technologies that we can't even think of today with AI. So, with the risks that we have today, we've seen so many sci-fi movies such as Terminator that say, oh no, the AI is going to kill us. We have so many people saying that we should be warned of AI, like Elon Musk, Bill Gates. They're all saying that we should be warned of AI, but we shouldn't try to research too far. So, taking all those risks into consideration, why should we even research it? This is a movie called Transcendence. I suggest you all watch it if you are interested in AI. Now, Transcendence was basically, this man had cancer, and they plugged him into a computer, and he was basically immortal. He had access to the rest of the world. He had access to the entire information that the world had, and because of that, he became the smartest person on earth. He started curing several diseases. Started curing different diseases that we didn't know today. He developed technology that we don't know of today. So those are the benefits of the AI. Sure, there are the risks, but that's where engineers come in. You have to think about what's going to happen to AI. You can't just decide, oh yeah, let's research without blinding. You have to think about what's going to happen. You have to manage that. And that's what MET is doing with you guys. That's preparing you for the future, trying to make you think for what's going to happen. It's making you think not just in tomorrow, but it's making you think 20, 30 years in the future. That's what's good.